All right, welcome back to Cool Cousins. We have the Cool Cousins Chit Chat Podcast, episode 2, for the month of September. Wait, no, October. This is October.
No, it's September still.
September. Exactly. It's a close. It's a close. We're cutting it pretty close.
Yeah.
But anyways, today we're gonna talk about Star Wars and like what's happened, where it's going, new movies, all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. I guess I don't really know.
So start off with, what was the first thing we decided to talk about? Was it?
Um, Skeleton Crew, the new Skeleton
I
Crew.
think I think so.
Start coming out December 3rd, 2024, which I found out today when I was looking up release dates and stuff. Actually,
Yeah. When do you? What did you think of the trailer that you saw?
I mean, it was interesting. You know, a little more back from the Mandalorian time period. We're looking at some more stories there. The start of it looks interesting. You know, like a suburb. It looks like takes place on Earth, honestly, which that was kind of interesting. Um, there were Jawas, there were all this good stuff. The Jedi we saw at the end, we don't know who that is, but I think it looks interesting. I'll definitely watch it. Um, but I'm just intrigued. You know, I don't know where it's gonna go, and I think I'm intrigued. So, what are your thoughts?
I'm I'm not sure. I'm skeptical that it's about a bunch of kids because that doesn't always go too great.
Yeah, it'll be like Star Kids, but actual Star Wars.
Yeah, but Star Kids will still be better.
Yeah,
Not,
especially the prequels, which will be coming soon. Don't worry, we haven't forgot about them.
yeah.
A
I
little
mean,
plug.
other than that, there was a one skeleton in the ship at one point, right?
Yeah,
I think that's is that where it gets the name Skeleton Crew?
probably. You know, I didn't think about that, but that does make sense. Probably like, oh, we're like skeletons, something like that. It's probably like a cringy name drop, but whatever. I'm not gonna complain too much about what they call stuff. You know, as long as the show's good.
Yeah, I'd say I'd give that show like a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, it's along with all the other Disney stuff, pretty much, or the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Some bangers like Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Clone Wars season 9. Other than that, they're all kind of mid. So
Yeah.
or worse.
Speaking of Ahsoka, Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly don't know if they should do a season 2 because here's my theory, right? It's basically just another Rebels storyline, but the next storyline they have to tell is all the Thrawn stuff, all the Ezra stuff, Ahsoka still on that planet, all this stuff. But I feel like most of it could be resolved in a movie. Like if there's an Heir to the Empire movie, I think they should make a movie about that. You know, a little Thrawn action. I don't know if they should what they should all do with it, how grand of a scale it should be, especially because you have the sequels you have to think about that still happen. But I'm still excited. I'm intrigued. You know, I thought Ahsoka was pretty good. I liked the Rebels a lot more than I think the average person probably. So I thought it was a good show.
I thought Ahsoka was a good show, and the problems with season 2, I think, is one, Balin's actor died,
Yeah,
and he was one of
it
the everyone loved that character.
was probably one of, if not the best character. Well, I don't know about the best,
I mean,
but it was one S tier character.
Thrawn was on another level.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I put him in A or S tier on my ranking. You'll have to check that out in a short somewhere.
I should
But
have watched that after this thing because I haven't seen that in a long time.
yeah, I just remembered it thinking about ranking people. I rank things a lot.
Yeah, I mean, season 2, I guess, would be how does Ahsoka get off of the planet, and
Mhm.
what is Balin doing with the statues of the father and the son?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. You know, I did a little bit of research about that actually before I watched it, and I think that could go a lot of ways. And I do think that hopefully one thing I do hope that happens in season 2 is they address how Sabine Wren was not a good character in the first season and like make her like pay for her crimes of being not a good person in general,
Yeah,
selfish, arrogant, all that good stuff.
yeah,
But you can't ask for a lot. I just hope they like make her a good character like she was in Rebels.
yeah. I liked her in Rebels, but in the Ahsoka show, I mean, she was kind of annoying the whole time, and then she just walks off getting stabbed with a lightsaber, which also makes me mad.
Yeah, they kind of made her an very unbearable character in that show, which I did not appreciate.
And then there was also Shin Hati, I think. Was
That
that
was
the
the
apprentice?
yeah that was the Apprentice. Yeah, what happened to her? I honestly don't remember.
I I don't remember either. I remember where Balin ended up looking at the statues, and I know where Thrawn and
Yeah,
Ahsoka ended up.
yeah,
That's
and then
about her.
Ezra also was on, got back to Hera and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically they just traded places. That's how the whole season turned out.
pretty much. I mean, which is fine because
Yeah,
once Thrawn.
it'll
Okay, next on the list of discussion.
one sec. My dog was barking. I don't know if you could hear it, but he was barking just on my window.
Okay, next on the list of discussion is Andor season 2, which you never saw season 1, correct?
I have not. It pains me to say it. I haven't seen it. I heard it was good though. I heard it was a good show. It was different. It was unique. It was good. So definitely something on the watch list, along with many other things.
I also thought it was good. I think season 2 will also be pretty good as long as they don't blow it.
Yeah,
Let me see what other shows were they coming out with? Let me check.
yeah. I think they have the. I was trying to think. I looked at it earlier, and I honestly can't remember. I don't know if they have too many. A lot of them are getting like canceled and stuff.
Yeah, I can't keep track of the shows. I was at one point keeping track of all the shows and stuff that were coming out, but then they just like then they announced like 5 movies and then they all get canceled.
Yeah. All the shows I also cared about are done. So like all the like obviously like season 2 of Ahsoka, I care about. But, like the stuff like the creation of the series is the ones I cared about, like Mandalorian, Boba Fett. All those ones are kind of done or like so I don't keep track that much.
I mean, well, the only thing I know of for sure that's coming out, other than what we've discussed, is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
I I don't know my thoughts about it. I don't know what they're gonna do with that story since he's kind of already done everything. Like the whole Grogu trying to find a Jedi thing got resolved at the end of season 2, only for it to like get undone for some reason, which I don't know if I'm a fan of or not. I haven't decided yet, but regardless. And then all the Mandalore stuff got resolved in a whether you think it was a good way or not. That's all done. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm intrigued. I did enjoy the Mandalorian in its whole entirety, the good and the bad. I enjoyed it, so I am excited to watch this movie that's gonna come out.
I think the movie could be really good. Although if he's bounty hunting, I don't think he's gonna do bounty hunting the entire movie. There's no way that would make a good plot for a movie.
A decent opening, a cold open to a bounty hunt would be kind of sick, but obviously that wouldn't be what it's doing. Which is one thing that I think about. Like obviously you have shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi should have been a movie, and the TV format made it worse. Other Marvel projects suffer from the same thing, but I do think shows like The Mandalorian or Marvel movies or Marvel shows like Loki do benefit from the format of an episodic TV show because they it just works for what the type of story they're trying to tell, as in like different bounties or different like side quests trying to lead up to what's the end goal.
Yeah, I mean it worked for The Mandalorian's one of the few projects I think it really worked for.
Yeah,
And then I mean Boba, I think Book of Boba could have even been a movie.
yeah. I don't know. I think the part about all of like the backstory and like the Tusken Raider stuff, I think that does work really well in a TV
Yeah,
show.
that was honestly my favorite part of the whole show, other than when Luke came and just stole the show and Mandalorian stole the show.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was there were good episodes, but they didn't make the show better. They just kind of like I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the Mandalorian parts of the Book of Boba Fett, but
Yeah, but
we're
the movie should be good.
Movie should be good. I hope it's good. It is the first Star Wars movie. Its release date's like 2026. So it'll be the first Star Wars movie in 7 years,
Yeah.
and hopefully it's good. I would hope so.
I really wonder where they're gonna take this, the whole Star Wars series right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of like different spots. They're doing a lot in between the prequels and the originals. They're doing a lot in between the originals and the sequels. I I'm not sure. I think like a Thrawn saga, like a whole Thrawn battle would be good. I just don't know if they're gonna execute it correctly because like you could bring back like Luke and stuff, but like would it really work? Would it bring back the same characters over and over again? Really work for the story in a good way?
I think if executed properly, whatever they do with Thrawn could go really well.
Yeah,
But they're in between a wall and a hard place right now. With they either have to, if they're gonna write their story, they either have to lead it into the sequels, which will make lots of fans mad, or they have to retcon the sequels to make their own story, which would also make lots of fans mad.
yeah. I mean, both those things. Yeah, I mean, retconning the sequels, like I don't know if it make a lot of fans mad because they weren't good, but I also don't know if that's the right way to go about it. I feel like you made a story, you kind of have to like keep it intact. You kind of have to stick to your guns and don't like back down or like listen to like all the negative, even if it is correct. I don't like the sequels. I don't think they're good. They're very good Star Wars stories, but I don't think you can just retcon them solely because you want to tell new stuff, whether it's going to be good or not.
Yeah, like they gotta stick with what they've wrote already.
Yeah. Plus, leading into the sequels in like a good way wouldn't be the worst thing, especially if it like sets up stuff like one of my favorite parts of Star Wars right now is like all the different stuff about like the clones, like Project like Necromancer and stuff from the Bad Batch, the Moff Gideon's whole clone thing with Grogu. All of it is in the end to set up Palpatine's return in Episode 9. But even though it got foiled, it is like a good direction to be going because it kind of doesn't. Because if you're watching it from start to finish, it doesn't seem like a big pop up. If all of a sudden somehow Palpatine returned, because if obviously to them he did, and it was a weird way to go about it in the movie, of saying, "Oh, Palpatine's back." But like if they do all this like setup in rewatch, or like if you're watching just through, it does make a little bit of sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Rise of Skywalker did not age well at all compared to other movies.
No, definitely not. That whole trilogy hasn't aged well at all.
Yeah, I mean, The Force Awakens, I think, aged okay.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I feel like we don't give enough credit to like the twist of Rey being the Jedi because it kind of did seem like it was going to be Finn.
It really did in the trailer, and then he didn't.
Yeah, or even just like watch the movie in general. So I don't give enough credit to, but
Yeah, he tried being the Jedi, and he gets beat up by Kylo Ren,
yeah,
and then Rey learns how to lightsaber duel on the spot and wins.
yeah. It wasn't. Not saying it was the good. Not saying it was executed the best, but it was kind of entertaining in the way that it wasn't exactly what you expected.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem with if they retcon the sequels is they can't like redo, like they can't make another series with Luke, Han, and Leia.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Luke's actor is getting older, Han's actor wouldn't come back, and Leia's actor passed away.
Yeah, there's nothing left really. I do think a second sequel movie would be a good movie. I enjoyed Solo. Sorry, I'm at 10%. I did enjoy Solo a lot more than most people, in my opinion. So
Yeah, Solo was a good movie, for sure. And what else? They stopped. They had a lot of movies they wanted to do. I think they had a Lando movie planned, but then they canceled it.
yeah, I was looking into that today. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's officially confirmed cancel, but it looks to be that's going to be the case.
Yeah, they had like 10 Star Wars films planned that just got canceled.
Yeah, for one reason or another.
Yeah, I mean, for the What other movies could they make?
I mean, I just brought up the Solo sequel movie. That's my vote. I think I don't know. I think maybe if they like do want to do something, they have a Ray movie planned. I don't know if that's gonna be well received or not. People want that to happen, but starting to tell stories outside of this era we've built, like past the sequels, starting to build from scratch wouldn't be the worst idea in my opinion, because you could start like telling a new story. So if someone's like watching through Star Wars, like thinking about the whole chronology of Star Wars, they don't think, oh, they ended off badly. They'd be like, oh, there's a rough spot here, but it continues on and starts to build off that and get better.
Yeah. They also can do the opposite and go backwards to like the Old Republic and High Republic eras.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad either, especially because that would make a lot of Legends fans happy and people who follow a lot of the lore because you would have characters that they actually know. You wouldn't be building from scratch in that sense. You would have things to work off of, things to build off of, a lot more stories that you could already tell in your own sense.
Yeah.
So
Although by building their own thing like in the future, they wouldn't like get fans mad about messing up good characters and stuff.
yeah, or even taking some storylines that may have like happened in Legends and then like turning them, like taking inspiration off them, but making them like a new like trilogy past the sequels or like a new arc past the sequels in which making them in like a new way to also like build up a new era where it's the what we have now and what we're building off of this way.
Yeah. Honestly, for the overall direction of where they're currently at though, I think it'll be very interesting if they did play out the Heir to the Empire trilogy but in movies.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. I don't know if like I think they should like more movies wouldn't be a bad idea either. But again, you only have from the end of Return of the Jedi to the start of Rise of Skywalker, and that's not enough time frame to actually like. I don't know if it might be, but it's not a lot to really flesh out a whole storyline of a new like set of like world-ending arcs. Because I mean, obviously, like there's a lot of gray area in that. Like they don't really bring up a lot what happened besides that Luke started. Uh, Luke started a new Jedi temple that got destroyed, and that the First Order popped up. That's the only thing that happened in that. So I suppose that could happen. I knew like throwing setting up the First Order wouldn't be bad either, but
I don't think Thrawn would set up the First Order though. Especially Thrawn would not make Starkiller Base
he wouldn't. That's a good point.
because in the canon novels of Thrawn, he is a huge critic of the Death Star for being like a waste of resources that could be used on better projects, like
I mean,
his TIE defenders from Rebels.
or better.
Yeah, because I mean the TIE defenders could have like if you had a bunch of TIE defenders instead of TIE fighters. Imagine how are they going to actually beat them?
They really don't.
Yeah, like even like Hera's one of the best pilots, and she's in the Ghost, which is an okay ship. It's not like the best ship. It's not the worst ship. But like in A New Hope, instead of Luke and Han celebrating that they killed a few Tie fighters, they're blown up from Tie defenders.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, especially because you consider like I don't even know what the end goal of the Death Star was. Like you wipe out a few planets. Like
I
I
mean,
suppose they did have this whole empire. It was a good way to keep people in line.
it didn't work though.
It didn't work.
I mean, I think when what Leia said that the more they tighten their grip, the more systems would slip through their fingers. I think there's kind of some wisdom in that because I mean, if they're gonna just go blowing up planets, people are gonna be like, maybe the Empire aren't the good guys.
I don't know. I don't know if some people ever thought they were, but
I mean, okay, just picture this: if they were starting to be like if people were rebelling against the government in America, and America was like, you know what? Let's just nuke a state to make them fear us and listen to us. Do you think people would listen to the government more, or everyone would just go crazy and revolt?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, that wouldn't go the way they thought. But it's what the Empire did, and clearly didn't go their way. So
So they tried it a second time.
yeah, I did see something, and it was at the end of Bad Batch season 3, right? Omega, like, they can't get Omega, and Tarkin's like, oh, just take all the funding from Necromancer and move it to Project Stardust, which is the Death Star. So I saw someone make a joke about how Omega, like, pretty much directly led to the destruction of Alderaan, because her not being able to be captured caused more funding to the Death Star, allowing it to be operational at that time.
Yeah. I mean, in the Thrawn novels, you see a lot of the arguing between top Empire officials of whether or not to keep putting more and more stuff into Project Stardust.
Yeah.
Because you had Thrawn, who's against it, and then you had Krennic, who's all for it. And obviously, uh, the Emperor liked his Death Star. Actually, in the second Thrawn novel, Darth Vader and Thrawn were like on a mission together, and Vader really liked the TIE Defenders, but he just didn't like really want to convince the Emperor because he's just kind of like, whatever the Emperor wants. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's not a bad thing to go off of.
I mean, I guess not.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else we must discuss?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. I can think of for Star Wars right now.
Yeah. I mean, hey, as I said, there will be more Stargates episodes coming out, so stay tuned for that. It will happen at some point. We did not forget.
We did not. We're not giving up either. We actually rewrote some of the scripts to make them better.
Yeah, we have 3 episode prequel season. So Mandalorian, that's not over either. We're still planning for that. So new series coming out at some point. So we'll reveal that when time is right. Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's made it this far into the podcast, I'm just thinking they should subscribe because they've been watching us ramble for like 20 minutes.
Dude, that is a good point. If you enjoy us rambling, it'll happen every month. So you might as well subscribe. So when that happens, you can be the first one to watch.
The last day of every month.
Yeah, that's a thing now. I guess I wasn't aware of that, but yeah. So you guys subscribe, like the podcast, show your friends that like Star Wars. Maybe they'll enjoy it too. Yeah.